And it looks like we are live.
Here we are.
Woohoo! What's up, my writing weirdos? Welcome back to my channel. I am BC, and this is BC Brown Books, where, of course, we get weird about words in the ways that only writers can by writing them or talking about writing them. And today I have a very special guest host has very graciously decided to join us. I'm sure most of you know who she is, but just in case you don't, Marissa, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, I am Marissa Mohi. I am a writer and online person, I suppose. I don't see any of your comments yet because, the chat lag. But so I probably know some of you, but we'll see for sure when the chat starts rolling in. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Now I see some folks. Okay. Oh, hey, Eva's here.
Yeah, we've got quite a few people here already. We've got Jeannie here today and Orla. They're regulars to my channel. I always love seeing them. Okay, Weird is here as well. One of my fellow weirdos. Absolutely love seeing. Key is here. Absolutely love seeing Key. A few people wanting to find out if I am on the mend, which I am on the mend. I've been sick all this last week. So this is my first day back. So I'm pretty excited about that. And yes, Eva is here, and Eva is excited that you're here today.
What's up, Eva? There's a lot of people I know. This is awesome.
Yeah, usually I have, pretty good streams, that pretty good streams that show up on Friday afternoons. I think a lot of people have extra time. Spence is here today too. Good to see you. I know, like, on Fridays, I always had, like, in the afternoons, I always had a little more time, and a little more flexible schedule that I could work with, even when I was still doing the 9-to-5 thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bonnie is going to be lurking a little bit while doing some laundry, possibly doing some editing. That's always good. Double teaming your productivity is always a good thing when you can.
Also, Bonnie, if you want to do my laundry, I would not say no.
I know, mine has been piled up. I've been so sick this week, and I'm like, I really should do some laundry. And my partner, he kept offering to do it, but I felt bad because I was like, no, you work, you work 10-hour shifts, like 5 days a week, and it's really physical work that you do. You shouldn't have to come home and do the laundry. And he's like, yes, but you're running like 102 fever, so you probably shouldn't be doing it either. So it just hasn't gotten done.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And Sako Toomey is here. Sako is my fellow collaborator on a project that I am sadly missed our live stream on Monday for, but she did an amazing job without me and still managed to do some character profiles and keep us on track with our collaboration project that we're doing. So pretty excited about that. Stephanie Whitson writes is here. Good to see a fellow Phoenician here as well. Natalie is here. Good to see you, Natalie. Andrew is here. Always good to see you, Andrew. Andrew cracks me up. I absolutely love having him in the comments. He's like the best. So Shelby writes is here. Also good to see you, Shelby. Eva is very happy to see the two of us together on screen. So I'm excited about that as well. Yes, we will be doing sprints today, Sako. So very excited. Thank you, Shelby. I appreciate that. I'm still getting back into the swing of things. I'm still a little bit on the mend, but the doctor says I'm pretty much A-okay, so it's all good. So what will you be working on today, Marissa?
So I'm not going to be doing any writing today just because I struggle with like focusing on writing if I'm doing a live stream at the same time, but I'm doing some like writerly adjacent tasks. So like, sending out my newsletter, that's something that I send out every Saturday morning. So I always draft it on Fridays and kind of like wrap up whatever the week before happened to be in, the form of a newsletter. And I need to schedule some live streams. And basically I'm going to use this time like for productivity focus. I actually launched a product today on my website and just kind of like keeping track and stuff like that. So just doing, like the businessy side of writing, which isn't the sexy fun side, like the like imagination and like getting into the story side, but it's the stuff that has to be done. So that's what I'm doing today.
Yeah. Well, the admin work is just as important as the writing work. And a lot of writers forget that when they're going into the process of writing a book, a lot of writers forget that it's a business with an admin side that has to be maintained. So I think it's important, like during our sprints and during these streams, that all of us do different aspects of the job, whether it's writing or editing or beta processing, whatever it is that we're also showing that we have all this admin work that we have to do as well. And we have to balance that with, sometimes our need to want to be as creative as possible.
For real.
Yeah. So Spence is doing a ridiculous amount of baking today. I wish I were at your house.
That sounds delightful.
I know. I want to be there. Savvy Writes Books is here. Hey, Savvy, good to see you. Here to eat snacks and edit videos. Love it.
Please share some snacks, Savvy.
Yeah, I want some snacks too. So apparently, Spence is going to make us all snacks with her baking. So it's all good. She'll be like the den mother of the stream.
Thanks so much, Winnie. That's very sweet of you. Like, I was super excited about it. I stupidly went on like a minor vacation this week, not like a vacation, but my fiance and we decided to stare at different walls. So we got an Airbnb and just like hung out there, and he did some painting and like really relaxed and stuff. And then I was like, what if I redesigned my website and got this product ready? And like, because I can't turn it off and like vacation. So, Yeah.
I have the same problem too. I'm always like, I'm gonna vacation this week. I'm gonna take it easy this week. Like, so, and I do that every time where I'm just like, oh, I've got all this time and spare energy. I'm gonna like do this other thing that's really just still more work to do, because we never turn it off. Sage Gordon Davis is here. Always good to see you, Sage. And Shelby did a ton of editing earlier, so they're just gonna read for this stream, which I totally understand. That is like refilling the well, and that's always a good thing. JC Carpenter says, feels like they missed something. What happened? So Marissa launched a new product on her website. That is what happened. And that's pretty much the gist of what happened. That, and I'm feeling better. So
yeah. You haven't missed any like sprints yet though, JC. So we're about to get into it, and so no worries.
So just about to get started on that. I am going to spend this time catching up on the live stream that Sako did that we were supposed to do jointly on Monday evening, but I was so sick that I was not able to do it. But I'm going to catch up on the notes that she created for me, so that I at least know what the heck I'm doing with our collaboration project that we're doing together. So I'm still very grateful that she went ahead and did the stream and did all of that work with the community, and still did we're still being able to work in tandem despite me missing one day. Let me see here. We have a few more people popped in. Yaza is here. Always good to see you, Yaza. I love your changing avatar picture. It's the duck. I like the duck at this point. One of my kittens' name is Domino, but she had a cold recently, and I found out that when she coughs/sneezes, she kind of sounds like a duck quack.
Aww.
So now I call her my little duck, or my little ducky.
Mm-hmm.
And so that just made me think about that. Maya Dawn Wolf is here. Good to see you, Maya. Oh, what a cute little witchy pup.
Love it.
Love it. So Spence is making 3 loaves of Grayson Wild's ice cream bread, 8 chocolate chunk scones, 8 orange cranberry scones, 6 loaves of onion bread, 2 dozen epic chocolate chip cookies. And that's all mixed up and waiting for the oven.
What the heck? Are you like having a party, Spence? Like, do you need me to come over? Because I will break any sort of quarantine rules for like all of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. JC wants to know what launched, and then they'll be buying today.
So it is the Evergreen Author Platform Bundle. It comes with 365 content prompts, so you have something to post for every day of the year. A hashtag swipe file so that your Instagram posts start to get noticed a little bit more. SEO basics for authors, as well as a content posting checklist for your entire platform. So,
ooh,
only $37, everyone. So
that is really well priced. Wow.
I wanted to make it affordable because, like, we're in a weird time, and I know that people aren't, rolling in the dough currently. So
yeah, definitely. It's a hard time for a lot of people as far as being able to stretch the bucks that we do have.
Mm-hmm.
If we have work or we don't have work, it's either way, you're kind of like stuck between a rock and a hard place right now.
Mm-hmm. For real.
So Sage says they made a giant pot of stew yesterday. So Mr. Sage and I have just been stuffing our faces full of stew for the last 36 hours. That sounds so good.
You guys are making me hungry. Like, what the heck?
This happens on like all of my streams. I thought it wouldn't, because like it's an afternoon stream for a lot of people. And I was like, oh, it's, but I guess it is getting a little towards dinner. It's after the 3 o'clock slump for a lot of people, and people start thinking about food again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So, JC is wishing you congratulations on the new
JC.
product. Natalie is going to keep moving forward with the editing that she's working on. And yes, Yaza, I am feeling much better. I am on the mend, still a little fatigued, but other than that, I can at least get some writing done, which is more than I can say than I've been able to do since like last Friday night. So, Spence still has yet to make more stuff, apparently, to mix up some lemon pound cake, which, I haven't had that in forever, and that sounds so good. Molasses cookies, no-bake cookies, and theoretically some chocolate bread, if the recipe works out. I think if that's the one recipe that fails, you won't even notice. There will be so much other stuff that you won't notice at all.
Yeah. Also, Spence, you're now on comment lockdown, because if you say anything else that makes me hungry, you're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Andrew T, honestly, I have nothing to do this weekend for the first time in 10 years, so I think I'm going to watch and observe your facial expressions in order to see if I can predict your inner dialogue.
Love it.
That should be fun. I've been told I have a very loud face, so this should be that should be very interesting. Yes, my little quacky kitty. So Savvy wants to know if you have links to your website.
I do. Well, hang on. I can't pop them in the chat, can I? Because I have to be an admin. What if I send it to you in the private chat?
Yeah, send it to me in the private chat. I just don't think I've made you an admin yet.
Yeah, no worries. Like I get there are some people that like I don't mind them being admins 100% of the time on my channel, and then there are some people that I'm like, if I make you an admin, I'm gonna have to remember to take you off because I know who you are and I know that you're a chaos entity, and not that you would do anything bad on purpose, but you know.
Yes. Yes. So Sage is going to send the link over to some friends that's been struggling with content stuff, which is good. So here is the link, everybody. I popped it into the chat, so you should be able to go and do that. Keelan has never heard the expression before. Hey, Keelan, she's never heard the expression "a loud face" before. I like it. Yeah, it's part of being hard of hearing or deaf. We have very, very expressive faces, and there's really no hiding it. And it's considered just being loud or in the deaf community. So if the apocalypse happens, we'd all want to be in the bunker with Spence because we'd wait out the apocalypse eating cookies and cake. That is so true. Oh, and the epic chocolate chip cookies have coffee in them. So as if there's not enough awesomeness in one bundle of an epic chocolate chip cookie, we throw in a little bit of coffee bean.
I'm so hungry.
Yeah, that's true. Key says, I would get taco food regardless of the time. It's one of those basic needs, and the human brain is tuned into it big time. That is true. That is true. Yes, I am back to life. So thank you, everybody. Keelan says, food. Did somebody say food? I'm literally making lunch right now. And Savvy is eating salami and wheat thins. That sounds good.
That's literally what I had for lunch today, but also some cheese. So like, just, it was kind of my very, should we say, very Oklahoma charcuterie board.
Yes. I kind of did so, I mean, I live in Arizona, of course, but I'm from Indiana initially. So I did what I call the Hoosier, like hors d'oeuvres, which was like pretzels, some cheese, and like rolls of like turkey lunch meat. It's like, that's as fancy as it gets. Okay. That makes sense. Coffee boosts chocolate flavor really well. Ooh, Natalie says that their own comment just now gave them an idea for a new book. That's so like exciting. I love when that happens. Autumn, hey Autumn, good to see you as always. CB just finished SpaghettiOs. So it's very, very a teenage thing to be eating. I don't think I've had SpaghettiOs since I was a teenager.
It's been a long time.
Savvy says, I'll eat salami and wheat thins and cheese for dinner, and Tyler will say, let's make a charcuterie board and pretend we're being fancy. How I'm fancy is I'll throw grapes onto that.
Yeah.
That's what makes me fancy. Yeah. It says BC is the same as someone whose every feeling shows on their face, like saying someone who can never hide what they truly feel because their face will tell the truth. Yep, usually I'm there's no hiding what I feel or what I think about somebody or something at a particular moment.
Mm-hmm.
Sako bought all the things, so the
Oh,
link
hey,
is
thanks, Sako. That's awesome.
active. Yay! And now Sage honestly has to go see if there's any stew left. Okay, so that gets us caught up on all the comments. So I think we should probably go ahead and do a sprint. I figured we'd start off with a nice, easy 15 minutes, and then we could kind of step ourselves up incrementally from there. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. So we will go ahead and get 15 minutes on the clock. And starting in 3, 2, 1, sprint. Beepity beep, beepity beep, beepity beep, beepity beep. All right. So how did everybody do for the sprint? That was our first one. How did you do, Marissa?
Pretty good. I got the majority of my newsletter drafted, or like I know what I'm going to say now. I think that there's like this significant portion of writing the newsletter where I'm like, does anybody really care about my random thoughts on this topic? And then I get to the point where like, I don't care if they care. I'm going to write about it anyway. So
I feel like it.
yeah, it's my newsletter.
Yeah. I do that a lot where I'm just like, I don't know if anybody cares about this crap, but I'm going to say it anyway because I feel like it. That's what I do with a lot of my like vlog videos. I'm like, don't know if anybody even cares, but I feel like saying it, so I'm going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think it translates okay.
Yeah, I think it's fine. How about you? How'd it go?
Pretty good. So I got all caught up on the notes from that Sako did on our project, our collaboration project together on Monday. And she did a tremendous amount of work. So I'm really grateful for that. And then I was just checking out our Pinterest board that we have shared so that we could see what each other's aesthetics were towards the mood and the style and the tone of the book, which she did a ton more pinning as well, which is the only thing that we're allowed to do in between streams. We're not allowed to work on the project at all, except for, I mean, we can pass like production notes to each other and stuff like that. But Pinterest is the only thing that we're allowed to do that is actually like project related. So I was catching up on it as well. So she did a lot of work this last week, and I've got, she did a lot of the week before leading up to this week, and then I'm sure she's done a little bit more on Pinterest since then. So I've got a lot of catching up to do before this Monday. So I'll be, I think, doing that for another sprint today as well too.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, pretty excited about it. It's such a fun project. I'm more excited for this project than I have been for a lot of projects for a long time. Mm-hmm. So I just love when that happens. I get so excited.
It's so good when you get excited about a project.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always nice when you just like are feeling like the not the slog of, oh, it's another project and oh, it makes sense to write this project and the, kind of a thing. But yeah, when you get genuinely excited about something is a lot of fun. So okay, Weird pointed out that they were on somebody's stream and brought up cold Chef Boyardee and Betty Crocker icing as chef's kiss comfort foods. I could see the Betty Crocker icing. Like, I myself have gone and just gotten a thing of Betty Crocker icing and have just decided to eat the icing just because I'm an adult and I can. I can't do the cold Chef Boyardee. I can't do Chef Boyardee, like, at all. My partner freaking loves it. But I don't know. It's not even something that really, as a kid, was I like, yay, Chef Boyardee. I was just like, oh, it's here. Okay, I'll eat it.
I like, the more you say Chef Boyardee, the more I can remember like the texture of the inside of Chef Boyardee ravioli, and I don't like that memory on my tongue. Weird.
Like, this is a bad memory. So RK is in the house. Good to see you, RK. One of my favorite weirdos. AlleyCat107, also one of my favorite weirdos, is here. So I do agree with you though that the pretzels dipped in Betty Crocker icing is like the best. I used to get the big pretzel rods and just like and use it like a spoon. It's like the best stuff. And it doesn't matter what frosting flavor it is. It's good either way.
Yeah, Nutter Butter cookies, if you dip those in chocolate frosting, that'll change your life. And then like chocolate chip cookies dipped in vanilla frosting, like I know how to put calories on my sugar, y'all.
We know how to load it up. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. CO Savvy is here. Yay. Weirdos unite. I am back. That is definitely true. So Keelan is hopping off to have some lunch. We'll be back hopefully a little bit later and wants to wish us all to have fun sprinting. Oh, I had a bit of a skip, of course. I had a lot of a skip, of course. Spence decided to take a break while they tracked down recipes. Yay for sitting down. I don't blame you. If I were making like a bakery production style of foods, I would want to sit down periodically as well. So Maya got 370 words in during that sprint, which is pretty good for 15 minutes, I tell you. Savvy got the video color corrected, got the intro and Patreon shout out edited, and got some iced coffee. That'll keep you going. That'll keep you going for the rest of that video. Sage finished blocking things in and sending a preliminary screenshot to the client just to make sure that they're going in the right direction. Always important. Orla checked out your stuff, made tea, and played on Pinterest.
Thanks, Orla.
Yay! Ginny finished all the editing notes for their whip. Now to go back and apply all the notes and descriptions that are missing. Round 3!
You can do it, Ginny!
I think you could do it. I love when people talk about the editing, or non-writers talk about the editing process. And they're like, so what you do is you just go back and make corrections. Like, you go back once and you make corrections, right? And I'm like, once?
No.
And I'm like,
tearing out your heart and then hitting it with a hammer several times and then
I know. It's like you underestimate me, sir. Kind of a response. RK finished a phone call and laid down. That sounds so good. I could really, the one thing that I haven't built back up yet from being sick this week is my stamina.
Mm-hmm.
So everything makes me tired. I walked into the office and I'm tired. I did this sprint and I'm tired. And I'm like, okay, I'm definitely going to be taking a nap, even though I slept because I'm normally on night hours right now with my partner.
Mm-hmm.
And I went ahead and slept for part of last night and then got up just before the stream and then was like, I could be good for several more hours today. And I'm like, no, okay. I think right after the stream, I'm going to take another nap.
Yeah.
So Shelby is enjoying relaxing and reading. It's been a rough week. I agree with you. It has been a rough week. I can't wait to do things other than just sleeping, though, this week. That will be nice for me. Savvy says that was Sako's post-sleepover stream on Wednesday, which I am sad that I missed the sleepover this week. I am a regular on it, and I was so sad to have missed it. And then I was sad to miss the after party, Sako's after party. It looked awesome. Savvy was all over the beefaroni at that point. Chef DRD beefaroni is god tier.
That's awesome.
Oh. Hey, Doll is in the house.
Oh.
My favorite weirdo writing sister. My memory is so shot. And people saying hi to Doll. Orla is sad that they don't know what Chef Boyardee is. Yeah, I don't know that it's solely a U.S. brand, but I think it pretty much is. Yeah.
It's like canned spaghetti. Don't be sad. It's a comfort food from our childhood, but also I would say you're not missing out on some gourmet experience. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's a canned food.
Yeah, it's something that every American child has had at some point, whether they've had the Chef Boyardee or they've had the generic. It's all the same. It tastes exactly the same. But yeah, so it's just something that was a comfort food from childhood that most people have had the experience of. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And of course it skipped on me. There we go. Here we go. Yes, Spence agrees. Beefaroni is childhood. Mm-hmm. RK says my gross food I liked was more Hot Pockets. I was very much a Hot Pocket person. Those were gourmet to me as a kid, because they were expensive.
Yeah, and that was something that was I didn't really get into until middle school or high school, I think, because it made me feel very mature, and I don't know why. It's a frozen pizza pocket, so.
I don't know. It was between that and pizza rolls that made me feel I was like, we have money, kind of a thing, which was totally not the case. But every so often, and they're terrible food. They're but I still to this day, when I want comfort food, will switch to pizza rolls and Hot Pockets as a go-to for comfort food for me. Mm-hmm. So Sako is figuring out this author workshop thing that I ordered.
Interesting.
Okay. Does it come with directions, or is it just like a kind of grow your own type of thing? Now I'm curious. Okay says mountain of pizza rolls. Yeah, so pizza rolls used to be when I worked night shift for a long time. I was stocking shelves at Walmart and also frying donuts and stuff. Pizza rolls were like my godsend go-to for like every meal.
Mm-hmm.
I lived off of them for so long. Shelby says this is good advice. Being poor in the 90s was 40% beefaroni in a can, 40% cream of wheat, and 20% trauma. Good shit. Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds about right. So being poor in the 90s was like that. The 90s was like my middle school and high school. So yeah, there was a lot of beefaroni. There was also a lot of ramen noodles.
Mm-hmm. Lots of ramen. What was? I'm trying to think. There was like this one thing, or we had a lot of like box mac and cheese, but it was not Kraft brand.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was always the off-brand. Always the off-brand. We also had a lot of Velveeta, blocks of Velveeta cheese. So like my mom would just buy pounds of like pasta, and we would just make our own like Velveeta shells and cheese, kind of a thing, which is weird to make with just the Velveeta blocks.
It doesn't feel the same as like the weird pouch of cheese goo.
Yeah. the cheese goo.
Yeah.
Sage says that Mr. Sage gets weirded out that I like to eat fried bully beef. Not quite sure what bully beef is, but I'm picturing fried bologna.
Yeah, or spam.
Or spam.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my mother adores fried spam for some reason. To me it smells like cat food, but whatever. Cordy is in the house. Hey, Cordy, good to see you. Key scheduled transport to a doctor's appointment and edited 5 pages. So, wow, you were like life productive and writing productive all at the same time.
Nicely done.
Cordy needs to finish writing this chapter. That is their goal for today. Let me see here. People talking back and forth a little bit, saying hi to each other. Sage is like, there was no more stew.
Although Fruit Loops does sound delightful.
Fruit Loops sounds good.
I haven't had Fruit Loops in so long. I forgot that they existed. Now I want Fruit Loops. Dang it, Sage.
Dang you. Dang you. Cordy's like, corrections once, as in one time. By one time, you mean like 12 times, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Those are the corrections. CO says it's the last 2 hours of work shift, so they got to spend it with me in their ear. Aww. Mm-hmm. I always like that you try, CO, to tune in to everybody's streams, even when you have to be, even when you're working, and you try and be there and support everybody. It's just really wonderful. Not everybody goes out of their way to do that. And I think it's just wonderful. Spence says that napping will make up for loss of sleep at night, but sleeping at night won't make up for skipping a nap.
Agreed.
I agree. And I can't get my partner to understand that, like, because he's anti-nap for some reason. He's like, I always feel worse after a nap. I was like, you do for like the first couple of seconds because you're groggy. I was like, but then once you wake up, you have so much more energy for so much longer. And he's like, no, I never get my energy back. And I'm like, you're just not napping right, dude. It's like, I don't get it. You're not napping right.
Yeah, you have to have like a hot cup of tea after the nap, and that's like Popeye spinach wakes you up,
Yes. Yes, exactly. Ooh, it skipped a lot. Okay, here we go. Savvy's just making me feel better about missing the sleepover. Yes. And Doll, I guess, missed the sleepover as well. And I was so upset because Lauren was back for like the first time in weeks. And I was like, dang it, I missed her. Like that meat and tomato sauce with pasta. Trash meat. Specifically trash meat. And that's what it is. Devin is here. It is not a stream without Devin. Always good to see you. Cordy was anti-Chef Boyo and full-on SpaghettiOs girl. When I would eat it, I was a Chef Boyo girl. The SpaghettiOs, I don't know, it was weird to me Like the little rings, I would get fixated with like getting them on the tip of my tongue and like I don't know. It was just probably an OCD thing.
Yeah, it was more of an activity than a meal, really.
Yeah.
You put like your little fork tines through it, and yeah.
Yeah, like how many times can you loop it, and like how much can you play with it? Okay, so she hardly ever gets the beef bully, whatever that is, but they bought it for him as a treat because maybe that's the Fruit Loops.
Mm.
So, mine is cheap mac and cheese from ADHD writer. Chicken, cheese, and broccoli hot pockets, yum. I do agree, Maya. Those are some really good hot pockets.
Mm-hmm.
The people that are hosting and are trying to walk Sako through the author thingy. Yes, the multi-meal version bags, so much cheaper, exactly the same.
You get so much more.
I know. This is making me think of my childhood, swimming for hours and then gorging myself on frozen pizza and pizza rolls. So what was like one of your favorite activities like growing up? Because mine was definitely swimming, even though I don't know how to swim, which sounds really weird, but
yeah, I liked swimming. It wasn't so much like the act of swimming, but it was like getting to go to the pool with friends. And so like somebody's mom would pack us all up in our like Walmart swimsuits, and we would go to like either the neighborhood pool or to like the city pool. And it was so much fun. And then on the way home, like they would let us go into like a grocery store and buy a ton of snacks and candy for us. Then we would just sit in somebody's driveway in our wet swimsuits and like eat candy and garbage. And that was a lot of fun. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, that was pretty much my childhood. So the public pool was like less than a block from my house, so it was walkable. And it was like through the park, and my mom, like, it was a well-lit park, so my mom was like, okay. And so I'd spend like all day, because I could swim like for you could get like a week's pass for like $6 or something. And my mom, I was always so excited if my mom sent me with extra money so I could buy concessions at the concession stand. But other than that, it was like, yeah, swimming, like I would swim, like play, I guess I should say. I would play in the water for like 12 hours at a time and like be pretty much dipped in sunblock for the whole day. But yeah, it was like my favorite thing was like, and sometimes I was lucky and I would come home and mom would have bought me like Dollar Tree snacks for like after the pool that I could then ration out for like the week kind of a thing. And yeah, definitely there was a lot of me taking books to the pool and me sitting outside of the pool with a book while I was dripping wet, trying to dry off before I walked back to the house and got the house all wet, coming inside. So Tanya is here. I think you are new to my channel, so it is nice to meet you. Welcome very much. Just joined a few moments ago, new to YouTube Sprints and live chats. We're glad to have you here. We have a great community. Marissa hosts her own live streams on a regular basis, and there's just a huge community of us that you can join in the sprints from. Down in the description box below, I actually have links to everybody that I know that has a channel that hosts regular sprints or even semi-regular sprints. So please go and check that out and join lots of other awesome people. In Canada, childhood had The Chef, but haven't seen it in years. Celiac is rough. You get a lot of your childhood stuff cut out.
Yeah. Although maybe for the better, honestly, because the more we talk about this food, the more I'm like, my childhood was full of just fake food items, nothing that actually came from the ground.
Yeah, mine was a lot of fake food as well. Speaking of fake food, and slurping on her current bowl of ramen. Yeah, I like real pasta and meatballs, no bootleg fake noodles. So yeah, so we were pretty poor growing up, and my mom would make food in bulk. So she would make like huge vats of spaghetti, and goulash was the big thing. So if you don't know what goulash is, it's basically just elbow macaroni and hamburger meat and spaghetti sauce, tomato sauce, all tossed together. And that's basically goulash. But she would make like these giant containers of it. So anytime I got crap food, I was so excited because my mom would make so much stuff in bulk. Nothing that was really particularly spectacularly good, but it was sustainable and would get us through like a week or two worth of food.
Mm-hmm.
And so anytime I got like pizza rolls or Hot Pockets or ice cream or McDonald's or whatever, I would just like gorge myself on it. It was like junk food I was so happy with as a kid. Spence says they called the off-brand Velveeta cheese commodity cheese. Yes, and that is usually what I had was the off-brand of it, which definitely does not melt like Velveeta. And the Velveeta, as we've discussed, does not melt like the cheese goo in the packets. So Maya, when I was a kid, we made mac and cheese with government cheese. Yep. Don't worry, Maya. I'm that old too. I had government cheese. Anybody that had the regular food boxes that they got ended up having government cheese. Let's see. Yeah. Whenever I hear Velveeta, I just think of the Chris Farley bit. You're gonna end up living on a steady diet of government cheese and living in a van down by the river. Okay, so it is kind of like Spam, but beef. Okay, that is good.
That makes me think that it would taste a lot better than Spam, just in that, what is Spam, really, you know?
Yeah, I know. Nobody really knows. Orla's having grapes, but now they want all the carbs. Used to just eat mayo on bread when I was a kid. I've done that, where I take a piece of toast and I put mayo on it. And if I was lucky, we had tomatoes, and I would put tomato on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be just like a tomato sandwich, basically.
Do you remember Tiny Toons, that show, the cartoon? It was like...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So there was the Tiny Toons, How I Spent My Summer Vacation, and Plucky Duck goes to Happy World Land with Hampton J. Pig's family, and they don't stop the car ever for this like car ride, and they serve mayonnaise and cream cheese sandwiches with the crust cut off, and that's like what they're eating in the car on the way there.
Oh, I don't remember that, but I don't know why, but that sounds oddly comforting.
Yeah, but also kind of weird
but weird and gross at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, waking up from a nap is like waking up in the morning, go pee, brush your teeth, wash your face, etc. Exactly.
Smart.
Yeah, usually it's one of those things. So Natalie had a doctor when they lived in England, told him it didn't matter when I'd have my 8 hours of sleep as long as I slept that every day. So I sleep whenever as the rebel I am. I have been adopted by my bed. So we got a new bed when we moved into this house, and it's like the dreamiest thing in the world. And so now I really don't want to not nap. Now I just want to nap all the time. And I'm just like, I can't even go into the bedroom. Like if I go into the bedroom, it's like a siren call to me. And it's like, you want to nap. On top of that, I get like my best ideas for stories when I'm asleep. Mm-hmm. So I always wake up and I always have really vivid dreams. And when I wake up, I always write them down. And I've never not used a piece of content from some type of dream that I've written down. I've repurposed it and recycled it and like rehashed it some way, but it's inspired me to do something. So let me see here. Sage is not sure that they have multi-meal here. Maybe not. It might just be an American off-brand thing. Sage is finally going to get pizza. She's been talking about wanting pizza because she's not had it since February, which I can't even imagine because, like, even though we got locked down and quarantined here, pizza was the one thing you could still get.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've had so many frozen pizzas and we've ordered so many. I cannot imagine what this time would have been like without the pizza.
I know. It's just been like, I don't want to, I don't want to order. I don't want the usual stuff, but like, I want to be able to like eat out kind of a thing. So it's just like pizza's going to be easiest. So Spence used to ride the bike to the beach. It's like 3 miles to and from, but most of it down a special walking riding path. It's beautiful and clear, and let's ride off at the beach. That'd be nice. Let me see here. There's a whole bunch of congrats RK. Oh, Hit 5,000 subs on the last sprint. Congratulations! That's awesome. I get excited like when I'm like go up by like 1 subscriber. I'm like, yay! I got a whole new subscriber.
I feel that.
Yeah. But I figure, I'm more than halfway to my year goal, and I've only been on YouTube now for like 6 months. So I figure I'm doing well. I don't know. I try not to pay that too much time. Tanya says, congrats, RK. I think I have 14 people.
I feel that. Like it's so hard to control too, and it goes in such weird waves. Like you might have a month where out of nowhere you get 500 subs and you're like, oh, that's amazing. And then you'll have another month where you're like, I lost 3 subs and that was like the gain, so it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I know. And I know a lot of it is like YouTube going through and they'll sweep for bots periodically and like get rid of like people. But it still is like, my little heart. Like, where'd my subs go? What did I do?
Yeah. Stop punishing me, YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, Savvy. I pretty much make my own sleep schedule, and I am between an 8 and a 10 hours. I tell people that I'm a perfect 10. 10 minutes of hair, 10 minutes of makeup, 10 hours of sleep. So it looks like, Tanya, you are getting some new subscribers just by hanging out in the chat. You will find that happens a lot. The more you hang out in the chats and the more you interact with people, the more subscribers you get. I think even though I started doing content before I started doing live streams, I didn't see a boost in my subscribers until after I started participating in other people's live streams, and then I started hosting my own eventually, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. Spence says there was a period of time a few years ago we had like $20 to do groceries for like 3 weeks. It was the commodity cheese, potatoes, imagination, and just chaos energy that kept us sane. Yes. Mine usually boils down to potatoes, onions, and if I'm lucky, I can get some like cheap Polish kielbasa sausage or something like that. And when we moved here to Arizona, for the first 6 weeks, we had like, I think less than $50 for 6 weeks for groceries. And that included dog food for 2 dogs that we had. So we ended up, I didn't know where the food boxes were. I didn't know how to get any of the aid when we moved here. So yeah, it was just like a lot of fried potatoes and onion.
I always do like rice and beans, but like I'm Mexican, so that's just like second nature to me. And like a bag of rice and a bag of dried beans is so friggin' cheap. And like when you put them together with a little bit of spice, it seems kind of fancy, like a full meal. So
yeah, no, it's agreed. And I very quickly learned how to make rice and beans when moving here. Like when I was lamenting at the grocery store, I was like in full on like breakdown mode at the grocery store, trying to figure out what to do for like another 3 weeks worth of food, for meals, for lunches at work, stuff like that. And I like broke down in the grocery store, and this sweet little Mexican lady was just like, you don't need to worry. Let's get you some beans. Let's get you some rice. I was like, I've never made beans before in my entire, not from a can. I was like, and she's like, it's okay. I can walk you through this. She's like, it's really so simple. She's like, kindergartners can do it. And so she was super sweet. She was really nice. Her name was Gina. I remember her to this day. So ADHD has a question. What's a good day for me to host regular streams without overlapping with too many people? I found that I love streaming. So that is a good question.
There's a spreadsheet somewhere.
There is. I actually have it saved on my desktop. So let me pop it in the chat. Caro Brown kind of administrates this spreadsheet. It is not a perfect spreadsheet. It doesn't have everybody, but it has as many people as has reached out to her and said, hey, I would love to have a stream. Just know that you are going to overlap with people. It's just going to happen. There are so many of us in the AuthorTube community now, and it is wonderful because it means that we can pretty much at all times catch a stream and keep ourselves productive and keep ourselves engaged and going. But yeah, you're going to overlap with some people. It's just, we try really hard not to overlap too much with each other when possible.
And not everybody does like regular live streams, so like there's a little overlap there. But also, I recommend just like figuring out when in your schedule you have the energy to do it, because I know that like for me, I have more energy in the morning than when I do like later in the day, and I really respect the people that do like night streaming, but I have no idea how the hell y'all do it, because I am falling asleep by 6 p.m. because I am your granny. And just so figure out what works best for you, and then see, there's probably going to be somebody streaming at the same time. But I also think that it's cool to do it at the same time, in that like not everybody appeals to everybody else, like, so you don't have to be everybody's cup of tea. That's fine.
It's one of those things where you're going to have people that do pop-ups, and they're going to pop up during your stream, and you're going to want to do a pop-up, and you're going to realize that you've popped up during somebody else's stream. Just kind of, it's just something to kind of go with. And not everybody's streaming style fits everybody. Like Marissa was saying, you're not always everybody's cup of tea. I know I can come off as very loud and very boisterous, and people want soothing sometimes. They want soothing productivity, and that's not me.
Yeah. And I am like, I kind of forego chatting for the most part. And I'm like, now we're doing another 25-minute sprint. Everybody work now. Or I go to the complete opposite end of the spectrum, and I'm like, okay, we're going to talk about this one thing this one person that you don't know did to me, and I'm going to talk about it for an hour, and I don't care if you like it or not. So
yes. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm more chatty. It's Friday afternoon. A lot of people are on like their downslide for the day. Usually I have a ton of energy because I've just woken up from a nap. And I just happen to be more chatty. But speaking of doing another sprint, we probably should, because it's been a little bit now. Even though there's a ton more comments.
Yeah, you guys are like really chatty in the chat today.
My chat is always very chatty. And I love it. It's just one of my favorite things, is like being able to engage with people. And I know we'll get some stuff done. We just may not get as much stuff done as what I would normally get done, I guess. ADHD writers, I love all the streamers, and I know I'll overlap with some of them. I just want to join in. You totally should. Totally should. Savvy. That's why I love streaming with you. I'm the loud person who doesn't shut up. I appreciate the people in my chat who are like, sprint time, so I stay on track. Yeah. Keelan's the same, way distracted while streaming, definitely on the chatty side. Yeah, it just is that way sometimes, where I could just talk with people forever. Like, which is weird, because as a kid I was really, really very shy. I had a stutter. I didn't like to talk very much. Up until I mastered my stutter, and then all of a sudden it like exploded. Like everything I had never said my entire life like exploded out of me, and has just been like word vomit since then, kind of a thing. All right, so let's try a 20-minute sprint this time, and then that way we can get a little more work done, and we will go back to the chat after that. All right, so starting in 3, 2, 1, sprint. beepity beep, beepity beep, beepity beep, beepity beep. I figure it's more soothing than most of the beep tones, and like some of the timers, like when you go out and look for them, like it's great, and then you get to the end tone, and it's like, holy shit!
It's a heart attack like initiator is what it is. It's not a timer. It's just every time it freaks me out.
Yeah, that's why I figured I would just like, I'm just gonna do it this way. I'm gonna have one that flashes, and then I'm gonna like do my own little beep beeps.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
And hopefully they don't make too many. Hopefully they don't make too many people crawl out of their skin.
Yeah.
So Eva was talking about poverty food, and that they're catching up on what they've missed at 2 times the speed. That's always fun. I like doing that sometimes. Like I'll come into a stream like as it's going, and I was like, I missed so much, now I have to catch up on it real quick, like during the sprint. And like, so I'll chipmunk it. I'll speed it up as fast as I can in order to kind of like skip around and be like, I want to know what all I missed. He was like, poverty food, goulash, macaroni noodles, hamburger, ketchup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 80s, 90s, though, I know plenty who still love these dishes as adults. I still like goulash. Like, I don't make it very often, but I still like goulash. It's one of those childhood, it just carried over.
Yeah, and it's like relatively, healthy and nourishing, like it keeps you full. So it's not like one of those things from childhood, like, like pizza rolls that now give you heartburn as an adult.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there was the junk poverty food that was actually nourishing and actually met like some of the dietary guidelines of what you should have as a kid. And then there was just the crap poverty food that nobody could eat like anymore, kind of a thing.
Right.
Princess Del Cliche just got here. I really like your name. I think you're new to my channel, so welcome, weirdo. Good to see you. More people congratulating RK on his subs. Alexis Zombie Apocalypse Journal is here as well. Good to see you. Also, writerly people. Talking back and forth about branding, which is very, I will have to say this, coming from a marketing background, it is very good to have a brand aesthetic that is very consistent and strong. When you have a visual presence like YouTube, especially, but pretty much across any social media platform. So let me see here. Oh, it skipped. No, I don't need a bell. I just need my beepity beeps. See, CO agrees with me. With the beepity beep. I feel like even though I only missed one stream last week, like I feel like I'm completely out of sorts and like I've not been on YouTube forever.
No, I get that. Like, I usually am live on Thursday morning, but I was out of town for like our vacation thing. And it feels really weird. Like, even though it was just a day later, like being on this live than what I normally would have, my brain is just like, what do we do? How like,
I no longer know how to function.
Okay. Yeah, it's weird.
So Alexa's Zombie Apocalypse Journal is wanting to record the first video, but it's never quiet here, and our walls are tissue paper. I don't know, Marissa, do you have any particular advice about that, or?
Yes and no. I mean, like, I would say as long as it's not like a constant jackhammer in the background, it's probably okay. Like in almost all my videos, you can hear my dog like shaking or barking, like not a real bark, but her just like irritated, like, why is my life this way sort of sound in the background. So, or you can hear like my boyfriend running around and doing stuff. There have been times that like I will put a little caption on the video like, oh, that's the ghost in our house. We don't have a ghost. There's just, people making sounds. So I would say it's probably not that big of a deal. If it is, though, like if it's like a legit, crazy, I don't know, if it sounds like a Chuck E. Cheese's during the middle of some kid's birthday, then like, yes, it might be a problem, but it's probably not.
And I was pretty much going to say the same thing. I mean, I would look for times of the day where people are quieter, like where either other people are asleep, and you could maybe do your video, because the nice thing is that you could talk a little quieter and you can always boost your volume content on your audio. So that's a possibility. I do a lot of recording for my videos now. I do them in the middle of the night because that's when people are either gone or asleep, and it's when it's the most quiet. But a lot of my videos that I still do during the day and stuff, there's all kinds of background noise. Like my partner came in here like right at the beginning of this stream because he was just getting ready to step out. And I mean, fortunately, we were on a sprint, so it was easier. But yeah, I mean, just own it in the videos, just like acknowledge it in the videos, edit out what you can. There's Puppy right now. Earlier, I had my cats were like begging and demanding to be let in. Like you're going to have life, have fun with it in the video. That's what I try and do with it whenever I'm like, and that would be my asshole of a cat that you hear in the background, or, you know, things like that. I'll put little captions up, and, you know, it just kind of is what it is. I think once you make it clear to people too that you are trying to record a video, most people are usually nice enough to try and keep it down for a little bit. You know, if you're like, look, guys, I just need 45 minutes worth of relative quiet. Even like my roommate, like our roommate is not the quietest individual. He's hard of hearing like I am. And he's just kind of louder and more boisterous like I am. And so like, and he works from home. So randomly, sometimes during videos, I'll hear like, there will just be a damn it, like super loud from like him in the other room. And then I'll hear a few moments later, sorry, because he'll realize that my office door is closed, which means I'm probably recording something. And yeah, like, so that'll just happen. You just learn to kind of edit around it. You learn how to start and stop what you were talking about and what you were thinking about. And that just gets easier over time.
If it is a legitimate zombie apocalypse, though, just given, you know, like the zombie apocalypse diary, that might be an issue. So
yeah. If, you know, if they're snarling and growling and like everything at the door, then yeah, that might be a problem with like people pounding down the door and kind of stuff like that. But yeah, have a cheap video editor. That's okay. I have a free video editor. I have iMovie.
Same.
That's all I use is iMovie. I didn't go in for anything fancy because I pay for other things that I consider more important than my video editor, because iMovie does the job.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like, none of us are going to win an Academy Award for video editing for YouTube. So like, you know.
Yeah. We're not here for the cinematography. We're not here for like what we can do directorially or you know, anything like that. We're here because we like to produce some sort of content that helps other people or entertains other people. That's kind of it. So QWERTY, no, not only 387. I know it feels like a struggle and it feels like you're plucking words out of your ass, but you're doing fine. 387 words is a lot of words for 20 minutes. So especially if you are struggling. So it's not an only thing, QWERTY. It is a yay, 387 words. Maya got 532. Tanya loves my beeping. It makes me unique. What can I say? Eva is still going through the photos that they've been taking to see which photos they still need to take. That's always important. I'm always updating my still shots, like, and the things that I can use on thumbnails. And I feel like I feel like I take the same picture over and over and over again, just with different outfits. But you know, I like to change it up. I like different things. I don't like my thumbnails and stuff to be repetitive as much as possible. And you know, so, and I'm always going through pictures going, I haven't tried that pose in a while. I haven't tried that pose in a while. I haven't tried that pose wearing this outfit.
Yeah. That's the hardest thing. Like I have plenty of clothing, but there are like 3 t-shirts that I like to wear. And especially with like during quarantine and all that, like I'm not changing my clothes enough for my thumbnails. It's bad.
Yeah. Like, so I limited batch record my videos. I usually do a couple of weeks at a time, just so I can stay relevant, but still keep my content, since I do produce 2 videos a week. And like, I used to do, like, before quarantine, I used to like lay out outfits for each one, and I would easily change into them. And now I'm just like, fuck it. I'm comfortable, and I don't want to change out of this outfit because it's comfortable or because I look good in it and it actually makes me feel decent. And I don't want to change everything. And so now I'm just like, screw it. If there are a couple videos where I'm wearing the same outfit in a row, people will just know I just batch recorded in the same day, But I figure that's to be expected a little bit on YouTube, especially when you come out with multiple videos in a week. Because you just kind of expect it's going to be, hey, I got good ideas and want to talk about a couple of things in a couple of different videos at one time.
Mm-hmm.
So Sage spent the most of the sprint dealing with friend of a friend drama. That's kind of like the worst. It's not even friend drama. It's friend of a friend drama. So you're like, you couldn't hardly care. I mean, it's hard to care about the friend drama, but then it's even harder to care about the friend of a friend drama. Mm-hmm. Savvy just finished editing Monday's video. Yay! Nice. It's always good. I don't have a video yet for Monday. And since I'm still recuperating, I don't know that I will have a video for Monday. If I do, it might be a vlog, just a catch up of why I missed this last week. Mm-hmm. Kind of a thing, but
I think that would be a good topic though, like especially with just life being what it is, like kind of like a recovery vlog, like here's how I'm getting back into my life sort of vibe, Not that you have to do that. I completely cut you off, but I was like, that's a good idea. So I might do something similar.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've thought about it, honestly. I thought about what would I talk about? Because, I mean, I have a couple of, like, ideas for videos that I already had and had planned on doing that would have gone up this week. And, not that they're not perfectly valid and I couldn't still go ahead and do them. But I thought, well, I should probably explain my absence for a whole week and explain that despite being a writer, despite being consistent on YouTube, that life does get in the way, and how do we recuperate afterwards? Like, how do we catch back up without burning ourselves back out, without making ourselves sick again? Stuff like that. So it's already something I've been tinkering with, but yes, it's pretty much what my idea was, maybe for this upcoming week anyway, was what have I been up to?
Mm-hmm. That's good.
So Spence, haven't started doing more baked goods, hiding and wrapping up the things so far. You've got a lot of wrapping to do. That was a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. And I'm still thinking about it and still hungry, especially those lemon bars. But anyway.
Man, that whole list of items.
I know. The epic chocolate chip cookies. Oh, man, molasses cookies. Anyway. Savvy is now exporting the video for Monday. That always takes so long. Like, it just kills me how long it takes to export and upload videos for YouTube.
Yeah, my upload time has gone down. We've actually gotten fiber internet, and that has been like a game changer. It's so fast. But the export time, like, I don't know, I could, have 10 children and watch them grow up and start their own families in the time that it takes like one video to export. It drives me crazy.
Yeah. See, and it's a little bit opposite for me. My export time doesn't usually take that long. We don't have fiber or anything, but we have like the highest, whatever we can get for whatever we have, because our roommate works from home. And since he works from home and I stream at the same time, we just went ahead and got the highest package we could. So basically we have like gamer quality internet, and none of us are really gamers, not video gamers at least. So, anyway, the exporting is usually really quick, but uploading kills me because I'm like 2 hours to upload a video. I'm like, why is it 2 hours to upload a video? It's like it took me 10 minutes to download the thing export the thing from my software. But I don't know. So Spence's grandma's recipe for goulash gives people nightmares. So it must be really involved.
Or does it have like human flesh in it? I'm very confused.
Yeah. As I say, it's either really involved or contains human flesh. One or the other. Oh, skip.
Don't you love StreamYard?
It just kills me. Like, I still don't understand why. Like, it even bothers. Just let you scroll. It gives you the little thing at the bottom that says, new comments. Well, I know I have new comments, assholes. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Goulash is the best thing ever, Doll says. Friday's video is going to require a lot of editing. I have 2 hours of raw footage.
Something your strength.
Savvy's videos are very involved.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the amount of production that goes into her videos, I just hands down.
Yeah. Also, Savvy, I want to like send you a ton of information, kind of MLM adjacent stuff someday, because I go to this conference every year in Arkansas. It's like a women bloggers sort of conference, and like 98% of those women are in an MLM of some kind. And I kind of just want to put on like a GoPro, a hidden GoPro, and like film it for you, and just like so you can hear them say things that are just absolute nonsense. Anyway, I won't be doing that, but
That would be awesome. Like a little behind the scenes expose. Love it. Natalie says, I spent all of that sprint deciding on the names of 2 characters that don't appear until a later book but are relevant to an edited book in book 2, Stolen Truth.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to like think way in advance of other books because you need to drop a character or drop a hint for a character, and you kind of have to have an idea of who they are before you start dropping that hint. I did that in book 1 for my Metaphysical Chronicles series. There's a hint of a character that is actually in book 3, but at the time I hadn't written book 3. So I had to like flesh out that character in advance before I even had an outline for book 3, which really helped solidify my outline for book 3, which was nice. But it also changed my initial thoughts of what the story was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So Eva, and some new sticky notes arrived by post.
Isn't it crazy like how happy sticky notes can make you? Like, it's like Christmas morning when you're a kid,
I know. Like stationary stuff and writers were just like the happiest place on earth. The most magical place on earth for us is Office Max.
Mm-hmm.
We're just like, just turn us loose with an Office Max credit card. Spence says, what is this word consistency? I try to be very consistent. I try not to miss my upload schedule or my live stream schedule, just because I try to be reliable, dependable, if a little weird and quirky.
But sometimes life punches you in the gut.
Yes, occasionally life punches you in the gut. Or in my case, a double ear infection that kept me like flat on my back for days. So Bonnie is listening to a story on speech for the next few pages. Then I'm going to make some changes. Sage was beepity beeping in yesterday's stream because we couldn't get the timer to do audio. See, the beepity beep is reliable. Alley Cat did a bit of editing and playing Skyrim. Alley Cat always manages to like multitask, playing a video game and doing their writing at the same time. I wish I could do something like that. I can't. Yeah. I am wholly focused usually on whatever is the one thing that I am working on. And it's easy for me to get distracted, but it's hard for me to like go back and forth between the two things.
Mm-hmm. I feel that.
Cordy definitely acknowledges the ghosts in their house. Tanya's editing their short story book, ebook number 4 in the Red series titled Red River. Turns out editing during sprints works well for me. It does. It works well for a lot of people. I am not a big fan of editing during sprints. I can do it, but it's more, it can't be anything intensive. It can't be like developmental editing or anything like that. It has to be like straight up line edits. Although I can move things around, like mm-hmm. I can play the this should go here and this should go here and this needs to be rewritten in order to go here game. I can do that. Sage says they like to film at night after Mr. Sage has gone to bed or if Mr. Sage has gone to run errands or something. Yeah.
That's a good
one. If you can like go to your neighbors or you can find a quiet spot, then do what you can. Yes, it is better to do things some half-assed rather than no things whole-assed.
Mm-hmm.
My 4-year-old doesn't oblige. There are a lot of author tubers that actually incorporate their kids in their videos and in their live streams. Wow. Just totally butchered Meadow's name. totally butchered Meadow's name. Anyway.
That name is very hard for me. If there's L's and M's and then like a hard sound with the D. And the only reason I think about these things is because being from Oklahoma, I'm constantly overcoming this Oklahoma accent, which makes my mouth like shape in a weird way. So like pronouncing letters is so hard sometimes.
Yeah. So Meadow incorporates her daughter all the time on her live streams, and she's just kind of a common fixture. Sean Kent does the same thing. DR Ranger does the same thing, incorporates their kids and just goes with it. You got kids, just have fun. Although Key does have a suggestion here for you: spoonful of cough medicine or vodka.
Oh, nobody calls CPS.
Yes, nobody calls CPS. Even wanting to know more about the Red River and wanting to know if it's related to where they were. iMovie shout out. The number of times that Sage had to re-record things for the last video because their neighbor's rooster decided it was time to play the bugle.
That's funny.
Yeah, we have a ton of roosters here in like the Phoenix area. So like backyard chickens are very much a thing here.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have a bunch of roosters. And I'm always like, that rooster sound, people have to be able to hear it in my videos. But people say they can't. I'm just like, there are like 12 roosters going off around me because one crows and they all crow.
Yeah.
And yeah. There you go, Alexa. See, that's the thing that you could do is you could just overlay zombie sounds into every one of your videos, like in the background. And then it'll cover up whatever background noise you have. So you should be able, I'm sure you can find some zombie growling sounds that are like free copyright use. Based in Selkirk, MB. Crime thriller, fast-paced, sounds good.
Oh, I need to look into that. I had somebody ask me the other day how to edit on their phone, and I was like, well, if you have an iPhone, I know you can do iMovie, but you can't do like all the iMovie things. So, but that's cool.
Yeah, it's limited. I'd never heard of it, so I may have to look at it. I don't usually like edit from my phone. I just take my video on my phone and then I export it to my laptop and then I edit through there. But if I need to edit from my phone because I don't have iMovie on my phone since I have an Android, then maybe I could use this one instead. Although maybe I could get iMovie. I don't know. I've just never really tried. Batch recording is super normal.
You have to do it because there's no way I could do it like just the day before because there's like 3 days, maybe a month where I feel like talking.
Yeah, pretty much where I'm like, I get all my talking out of my Friday chats, like in my Friday streams, and I'm just like super excited and like that's where I get my chatting out. And then I chat in other people's live streams, like even if like in the chats themselves. I was like, I'm not really feeling all that talkative otherwise. So oh, they're batch recording. Good for them. Why am I noticing this thing about them, though?
Love it.
I have an outfit repeater. Oh, my goodness. Yes. Oh, don't worry, Orla. Tons will come to you once you open the floodgates. It's like there's an initial dam where you're just like, now what am I going to write? Now what am I going to talk about? Now what am I going to talk about? Now what am I going to talk about? And then once you open those dam gates, you're just like, oh, wow, why did I? Let me see here. StreamYard skipped. Okay, well, friend who's also a client, a friend of a friend. Yeah, I understand. That's something that you kind of got to deal with then a little bit. I'm the worst at even noticing what someone is wearing, so unless I see a food stand, I don't really pay attention. The fiber.
It's so fast. I love it.
We're supposed to get it here in Phoenix. We were supposed to be one of the first cities to get it, and then all of a sudden, like, nope. And it was just like, where the hell did it go?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Savvy wants all the info.
I will be sending you some info, Savvy. I don't have anything new just because like everything has shut down this year, so I haven't like talked to anybody. But I can send you some stuff. So not like super good stuff, but like stuff for you to like poke into because that seems to be you enjoy that sort of thing.
Yes, she does like to dig. I think a collaboration between the two of you would be fun. Sako got a new tarot deck and is excited. Sako, you
Ooh.
can totally give me a read if you would like to break in your tarot deck. Maybe after I'm done with sickness, though, because I know that can affect energies. No, that sounds about like normal. That sounds about like normal goulash to me. Oh, that sucks.
That's awful.
Well, they should have, if it didn't meet the company standard, they should have paid for the upgrade for you to be able to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Or they should have given you some sort of stipend in this time. That's like not right. Because you didn't, going into that, you didn't have a job that required you to have a certain amount of internet at home. Yes, you're not the only one that enjoys office supplies, Tanya. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Speaking of stationary stuff, I saw a Kickstarter today for these analog planner cards. I don't want to back it for time right now. And yeah, I don't know. I try to stay off of Kickstarter because I get in trouble.
I recently backed a tarot deck on Kickstarter, and all of the cards, they say they're animated. I don't know what that means, if it's like holographic or like lenticular cards, so I'm waiting to get them, but that was the last thing I backed. And now I get an email every other day about a new tarot deck that they're trying to fund on Kickstarter. I'm like, stop it.
I don't need any more.
Yeah.
Devin's bedroom looks like a Staples store.
Mm-hmm.
These are the pastels, the sticky notes. So I made a promise to my partner that when we got this new house with the office, that I would contain all of my stationery and all of my chaos, as he puts it, to like my office. Mm-hmm. And so I've been pretty good. There's my notebook that I keep beside my on my bedside stand. That's for my ideas after I wake up. But like I've been good about not, like, if I carry it out of here with me, it comes back in here with me.
That's hard. That's something I struggle with still.
I mean, sometimes I'll put it down and I'll forget that I put it down, and then I'll get back in here and be like, what the hell did I do with that notebook? Yeah. So Renee wants to know, hi Renee, by the way, if we all write in Scrivener, MS Word, or Google Docs.
I use Microsoft Word and Google Docs mostly, and the only reason I don't use Scrivener anymore is because my computer tried to die, and I said no, and I replaced the hard drive in it. And then once I did that, my version of Scrivener was outdated, and they wouldn't let me reinstall it. And I was like, well, I don't really feel like buying Scrivener right now, so I haven't been using it. I like it, but I also dislike it. In that I just feel like there's too much there for me to deal with, and I get overwhelmed. But I like just opening a blank Word document and going to town, just because that's kind of like how I started writing, like back a bajillion years ago. So
yeah, and I use a combination of Google Docs and Wavemaker. And Wavemaker is very similar to Scrivener, only I like it because it's open sourced. It was created by a teacher. Mm-hmm. And so I use a combination of the two. I use Google Docs for most everything, and then I move to Wavemaker as I get into my final drafts. So
I'm looking up Wavemaker right now.
So you can do it. It has where you can download the app, or it has like you can just do it from your web browser. I just use it from my web browser. So Kara Brown did a really good review about it, which is how I learned about it to begin with. And at the time I was using Scrivener, and I didn't want to just I needed to update, and I didn't want to pay for Scrivener. And I was like, I'm not paying for it when I could get an open source software that does the exact same thing.
Ooh. I'm just looking at it now. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's really simple, really intuitive. It spaces everything else nicely. You can save by project. Yeah, I really enjoy it. So, Doll is editing their first newsletter. Don't know how to start collecting signups. I'm stupid at doing it all upside down. No, don't worry, you're not. So the best way to collect signups is usually through your website. You can do that, or you could do a some type of sign up form, like a Google sign up or something like that, and put it out through Facebook, through Twitter. Just see what you can capture. To start off with, reach out to like some of your author friends and be like, are you interested in being part of my newsletter, receiving my new newsletter, and you can just kind of start from there. So those are all areas that you can kind of start with as a jumping off point. But usually your website is your best bet to be able to capture and draw in your signups.
Although I will say the newsletter, I think, is the trickiest part of your platform, in that it's like the least intuitive, because that's more like behind the scenes stuff. And we're so used to like seeing the content that people create that like it's really easy to emulate that. But like creating the newsletter, getting the signups, getting like the free download created so that like people do want to sign up, like that's something that we never really see. I do have intentions to make a video about something like that, but also at the same time, like it's 2020 and my best of intentions. That was not a word, but you understood what that meant. I think.
Yes, exactly what that means. The pregnant pause there, very understood.
Yeah.
Right. So no, I'm the same way. I have a lot of experience with newsletters and doing newsletters for both nonprofit and for corporate work and for government work. I let my newsletter fall to the wayside all the time. It's like I am the least reliable about it. It only comes out once every like 3 months anyway. Mainly because I would rather update people in a blog. I mean, so I'd rather do a 2 or 3 minute vlog and be like, this is what I'm up to. And I don't know, to me, it's more personal than doing a newsletter, but newsletters are still important. And so like capturing leads from newsletters, though, is like a stumbling block for every writer. So Spence is saying that kids are ridiculous. The other day, my 6-year-old ran across a parking lot screaming, "Robbie, mommy says vodka is a grown-up drink." It nearly killed all of us laughing. Yeah, kids are pretty good. Kids are good for golden moments like that. Eva says it's efficient. You use different parts of your brain for recording and editing and marketing and all the things. I am not a scientist. Well, yeah. And there's a zombie teaser on Alexis's Zombie Apocalypse Journal page. Yeah, Doll says, I will not do Kickstarters. Just having a Patreon is a bit. I feel weird. Kickstarters are interesting. I know people that have had a lot of success with kickstarting their books.
I think it depends on what it is. Sometimes I feel like they're being very scammy with it, or there are times when like they ask for an amount of money and I'm like, there's no way that you can create what you say you're going to with that amount of money. There's no way I'm funding this,
Yeah, exactly. And you're just like, I'm not going to get a product out of this that's going to be worth me actually investing in it. Yeah. Eva's ordered from Quills, so there are more things coming. All the office supplies. Give us all the office supplies. Mostly homeschool things, but hey, office supplies. Eva uses Word mostly. Google Docs when a client insists, but it runs slowly with longer docs in my experience. Scrivener I like for large outlining. Yeah, they decided to redeploy those who couldn't work from home to another department. I didn't mind the department as being assigned to, but it's different when you apply an interview versus being strong-armed. Oh, that's not right. That's not right at all.
That's so bizarre.
Alexis says MS Word. My laptop has a lifetime supply. Yeah, and I work from a Mac, so I don't have MS Word unless I'm just going to go and buy it.
I bought mine when I was teaching because through the university I was teaching at, you could download it for $20, and I was like, done. I'm technically supposed to stop using it now that I no longer work there, but they can eat my entire butt.
Yeah, that's what are they going to do? Yeah. So Heather is here. Good to see you, Heather. And Eva said I had Wavemaker after Kara talked about it, but I haven't played with it much. Maybe I'll do that tonight. Yeah, it's really intuitive. If it doesn't even take the learning curve that Scrivener has, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just skipped on me, but not too much. Eva says Carrie H. Author is the channel name of another parent author tuber. Yeah. And Sam Nassett, writer mom Sam Nassett, her kids pop up on her streams and occasionally in her videos from time to time. Although I know she does most of her recording of her videos like after the kiddos go to bed. But her live stream, kids are there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're a parent, you're a parent. Sio was a diehard Scrivener fan until the laptop crushed, holding their YA anime fantasy series hostage for 3 months. Oh, COVID broke at the same time. Got all other stuff on the new laptop, but I'm a Google Docs girl now.
I do not blame you. That sounds awful.
I know. I've had a laptop die and like lost good chunks of writing because like everything went out of it, like complete memory went out of it. And it was totally corrupted. And since then, I'm like put it in the cloud, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about the cloud. So Key writes in Word with doc files kept on Dropbox. Keep track of all projects. A little free program called To-Do List by Abstract Spoon Software. It's helpful. Sage, I have a newsletter, but I can never be asked to see anything out. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. Heather's starting a newsletter list themselves. It's a stumbling block for them as well. Cordy kickstarted their books, and I have one of their books. So I haven't started reading it yet, but oh, look, my daddy's here. Hi, Dad. We're just getting ready to wrap up, actually. You're always coming in right at the very last of my streams when you pop in. Just in your normal post stall would be where you can add a link on social media for people to sign up. Just do a normal post and be like,
what sort of newsletter program are you using, Doll? Are you using MailChimp? Because MailChimp has like a weird place where they hide the link that they want you to put in there. So, but I can help with that if you have questions. So let me know.
Yeah. Yeah, so Tanya's saying, I have no clue how to start newsletters, email lists. It's kind of...
It's frustrating for sure. It took me forever to like get on it and do it right. And when I say forever, I mean like 2.5 or 3 years of like playing with MailChimp. And then I like bought an e-course that was like $250 that taught me how to use MailChimp, because MailChimp is it's not necessarily hard, but it's absolutely not intuitive at all. And they use so much ridiculous marketing jargon that it took so long to figure out what the heck I was doing.
Yeah, it was very complicated at first, not as user-friendly as it like claimed to be. And then they've gotten better over the years. Mm-hmm. They really have streamlined it down and gotten better over the years, and they've gotten better with their support as well. But it's knowing what to put in a newsletter, which really you just start off talking about you, and it's giving your readers what they want. You're not talking to other writers. Mm-hmm. You're talking more to actual readers. And sometimes all they really want is to get to know the writer, like your frustrations and your struggles with your own job, which is writing, and anything else, plus like good stuff, like what's coming up and like quirky ideas that you have and stuff like that. Heather, I felt weird doing a Patreon to begin with the first time. Nobody asked me to do a Patreon, but I figured I do the YouTube thing 3 times a week now. And I do it, and it takes up a lot of time to do. I enjoy doing it, but it'd be nice if some people could help me support it a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I just put it out there and was like, if you want to, and of course I have some patrons, and I am grateful for every last one of them. So I don't know. It's just another way to engage with people, and you just give them something special, mm-hmm. For their engagement. Spence is still making me hungry.
Take it, Spence.
Yeah. Eva says, I have a Patreon. BBB is my patron. I promise offer zilch. I set it up because I can.
Also, I think it's like important to note that I don't think anybody will ask you to set one up, but when you have it there, they're more likely, like they're going to participate. If you guys have ever read The Art of Asking by Amanda Palmer, who I know is a problematic person, and I'll just throw that out there, like she's interesting, but also problematic. And like, I guess we're all interesting and problematic, but anyway, the idea is that you're creating something, and so you deserve compensation, so do it.
Yeah, exactly. There should never be fear. There should never be fear about asking for compensation for your time and your energy. You're not asking, we're not charging $150 for ARCs. So we're not asking for anything like that. We're asking for $1 or $3 or, something that's very reasonable. And you don't have to promise much to go with it. Like your eternal, undying, gratitude for them supporting you. Maybe a blurb at the end of a video. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Spence says, I have a Patreon, but it's not public. Doing it in baby steps. See? Yeah. You could do one, Bonnie, I just have the 1 level. I know, like, you can pledge more than just what the 1 level is. I just have the $1 level. So everybody gets all the same things. Nobody is, like, especially special on my Patreon channel. Everybody gets all the same things. You get thanked. You get included in all the polls. You get all of the sneak peek materials and all the fun stuff in advance. But I do have some of my patrons that have pledged more than the $1 every month. So you can always support more if you want to. I'm not going to be like, no, don't buy me more coffee, kind of a thing. Sage says, I have a Patreon and a Ko-Fi. It's always linked in the description of my videos, but I almost never remember to say it's there. Yeah, I only just recently started remembering to say it. By the way, it's linked down below if anybody wants to support me on Patreon, blah, blah, blah. There's also a merchandise store. You can buy stuff, blah, blah, blah. I just had to start remembering how to do it.
I love that. Yeah. I will say, not to start any drama on your channel, BC, but since we're on your channel and not mine, there are a few other people that are probably going to have, like the shade train come their way as well, just based on recent activity. But I won't say any names. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. They're probably going to have a few people. A few people come the way.
Maybe not for $150 ARCs, but for some other nonsense. So
yeah, for some other silly stuff. Eva wants to know if you have a Patreon.
I do not. I've been thinking about setting one up. I also have the option to do a YouTube channel membership, which is very similar. I'm trying to think through what it would look like while trying to like balance everything that I want to do. So I'm just trying to think about like what I have energy for, how much time, and all of those things, because I would want to make it worth people's while for larger tiers. So because I'm like really good at like jumping in and doing things, and I'm trying to not jump into something that gets me entangled into something I can't deliver on. So I'm trying to think that through. So it might happen. It might not necessarily be a Patreon, but it might be a YouTube channel membership. So we'll see. And it would probably be like, like live streams or access to like a special community tab with resources, like tarot readings, all sorts of things. So we'll see. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, Eva definitely thinks you should do the membership. Eva also says that they have a membership on Keelan Rivers, and it's the only channel that they're a member of, and she'd like a second. So everybody's wanting to know if we have another ARCs are free type of situation. We definitely have some drama.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily like an ARCs are free. It's definitely about ethics and how you use your platform, I think. Which like everybody talks about writing on their platform, but a lot of us talk about other things. So I talk about like tarot and just random stuff I'm doing. And, I think that's normal. But I do think that some people are using their platform to fearmonger and also to like spread misinformation about the coronavirus, like, which seems very dangerous, given that their audience is a lot of younger readers. I mean, I'm not going to say who this person is because they have taken down all that information. They had like a whole highlight on their Instagram that was like citing Breitbart and all sorts of like, like news sites that don't actually give you news. They're just corporate interests that are peddling false information. So, yeah. But I figure some of you know who I'm talking about. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it.
Yes. Know exactly who you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, there have been other issues with people using their platforms for undermining other individuals, and I know that's been a whole like big drama too. So I'm kind of waiting for that to boil over. So that's kind of, but I like Sage here. Oh, hell no.
Yeah. Like none of us here really want to like start the next hashtag of AuthorTube drama, but when it's here, I'll speak up.
Yeah, we will definitely. Alexis is like, no, but I want to know. Don't worry, when it's here and it hits, we'll. I'm obviously still not hanging out in the right places because I'm not connecting any dots here. Someone knows who they're talking about. Please DM me somewhere. Who is this? I want to avoid them. Yeah, when it hits, you'll know. Don't worry. It's pretty close. But okay. So now that we're ending on a little bit of drama, we should probably go ahead and end for the day because it is over the 2-hour mark. And I want to thank Marissa for being here. I know we weren't hugely productive today, but it also was just really nice to be able to get to chat with you outside of just like regular chat when I pop into your streams. But for those that did come in a little bit later and they don't know who you are, I can't imagine why they don't know who you are. But if they don't know who you are, go ahead and let them know a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I'm Marissa. I'm a writer. I instigate a lot, as you can tell by that previous conversation. Then I let others deal with the aftermath. That's pro tip in life, friendos. So I have a YouTube channel where I try to talk about writing, but also building your platform. That's kind of like my main thing right now. Tips and tricks in making it easy. I do lives on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Time. So right now it's Central Daylight Time, so factor that in. Yeah, that's what I do. I try to release videos right now. I'm not really adhering to a posting schedule. I'm trying to figure out life and what that looks like, and we'll see.
Awesome. All right. And I, of course, am BC, and this is my channel, BC Brown Books, where we get weird about words in the ways that writers can. And that's by writing them and talking about writing them, and sometimes talking about drama between writers and hinting at drama between writers because, nothing outright said. But y'all will know when you know. And everybody in the chat is just blowing up from it. Like,
right.
What? I still need to know. But yeah, so I want to thank everybody for coming out to the channel today. I hope you were able to get a little bit of work done and be able to get some words in or just be able to do some life stuff because I know sometimes we just need to take time to be able to focus on the things that we need to focus on. So thank you so much, Marissa, for joining me. I really loved having you on my channel today, and I definitely will have you come back in the future. So, and yeah, everybody, I want everybody to just remember, as always, to keep getting weird about words because that's what we do. Bye, y'all.